Aries.
Hello everyone. I would just like to take a slight moment off the top here before we start our July forecast. I just want to thank you all for the inspiration you give me that again can hopefully be inspiring you. I would love to thank each and every country, but that would be a long list. We are now being viewed in 177 countries. So you know who you are when I thank you for that blessing and for you sharing these videos. And also I want to thank those of you that I've been able to touch in a personal level in our personal private readings. I want to say hello to all of you, and you know who you are. So let's take a look at what July is going to bring you. Hello Aries, this is your July forecast, and we're starting off the top of the month with a little bit of a testy nature here, where a situation can come to kind of like a head and be confronted with your deepest sense of authority, and where you might feel that there might be a situation or a person that might be triggering you. Not necessarily triggering your defense mechanism, but it could absolutely be. We have this Venus-Saturn square, and I feel it kind of ties in with something that's very important to you that you value. Something emotional, perhaps, of nature, and it could also be something material, which Venus also rules. But the Saturn here is trying to push something in there that you may not be too happy for, and then Pluto, same day, here on the 1st of July, is opposing your Sun. And this is where I'm seeing these defense mechanisms perhaps coming out. The Sun-Pluto will be between your 4th and 10th house, so that could be a work-related situation. It could also be something home-related. It could be either or both. It could just be that you have this tug of war going on where you might feel that you're needed to stay at home for whatever reason, and then your career is kind of pulling you in this direction, and then you have this seesaw tug and war effect that might be a little challenging, and then you're going to have to go with your deepest sense of authority and what's important to you. And this Venus is in your 5th house, so maybe it could be one of your children needing you at home, may not be feeling too well. But it's no biggie. You'll just get through it, and it's going to pass fast. So this is just like a day or two. But that's how we're starting off this month. And then moving on to something better here, Aries, because see, as we move into this first week, we have all these planets now in your 4th house. And I have to say congratulations, because ever since June 25th, Jupiter moved into your 4th sector, which is home and family, your roots, your past, how you feel about your home. Now some of you, many of you, will start getting this itch to kind of expand your home foundation and make it more jovial or lighter, or just even wanting to now finally finding the time that you want to spend more time at home. You'll have this trend here for a whole year, so you know it's not all going to happen at once. But this is a really good time for those of you, Arians, that are starting to look at real estate. And this especially goes for those of you early in the sign, because this is Jupiter hitting those very early borns. Those born a little bit later, Jupiter will come along and you'll all get your time to share. And I get that question a lot from many of you saying, hey, why are your astrologers always just talking about those early in the sign? How about us? Well, it's because the planet takes time to transit through the whole sign, and Jupiter takes a year to go through the sign of Cancer. So it's going to hit the early born first, then it'll be those of you born kind of like midways in the sign, and those later Arians will get it towards spring and summer of next year. So anyway, Jupiter is really happy in this space because it gives us that upbeat, jovial energy where we really can now start paying attention to all the upgrades that we've been talking about and wanting to do, never found the time or maybe even the money But now is the time where Jupiter is going to come in with that certain sense of abundance and perhaps helping you to create these upgrades now. And our living space is always, it's the nest of our soul, and it should be a beautiful place for us to stay so that we can thrive. So not everything out there is just work. Especially for you Arians, because your fourth house is ruled by Cancer, and Cancer is the ruler of the home, so to speak. And so for you, I think it's even more so important that it is cozy and warm and a place of nurturing. Now we have a lot going on in this sector of the home this month. Okay, last month I see that you were really busy back and forth, to and fro, maybe a few shorter trips for quite a few of you, and where also communication was extremely on the hot list for you. So anything also perhaps with papers and documents and settling things, and also I see that last month was a whole lot about your neighbors and siblings, but now those situations are calming down, and you can start breathing and then be in this own beautiful space of your home. We have the sun, the moon, we got Mercury, and then of course like Jupiter, and then we have Mars, which is also going to enter the party there a little bit later here in July on the 13th, I believe, yes. And that will give you even more so the energy and the drive to start those projects. So here, first part of July, you might be talking, contemplating, drawing out all your plans and so forth, getting all the gear together, and then great time to start when Mars here enters mid-month. We have some happy energy too, a little bit later here in July, when Jupiter is going to visit Saturn by trine, so it's a golden ray. Jupiter expands everything it touches, and Saturn, which normally is very restrictive, we know how that planet is, will kind of come in and give Saturn this boost. Now for you, that's the 8th house. And the 8th house rules banks and insurance companies, other people's money. And if I see this in correlation to home, property, and real estate, well, hello, that might just ring the bell to some kind of investor situation. Some of you might start a refinance or actually go and ask for a new home mortgage, or those of you might also go out there and find a second home. So expansion in this whole extreme area, because that Jupiter is also tying in with the same golden triangle to Neptune, which is your hopes, dreams, wishes, that ideal situation. And so a second home, I believe, can be a dream that many has had for a long time. And you might be the ones to shoot that golden bird this month, Aries. Good for you. Saturn's coming in right behind it there on the 19th, which will secure those dreams, which will actually manifest it on papers, documents, and so forth. So we have the 17th and the 19th as golden dates this month to actually act. Now the only thing is that we still have Mercury retrograde, and it will be retrograde until July 21st. So you may do talks, perhaps, especially those talks that started earlier, on the June side before Mercury went retrograde there on the 26th. Talks are good, but don't sign papers. And you might be very tempted to do so because everything's going to feel like it's on a roll. Jupiter is like really super fast. It's like opportunities are just going to be dropping in your lap. And of course, it's like we want to grasp those opportunities while they're there. But with Mercury retrograde, I wouldn't sign anything. It's going to go direct on the 21st. So you're pretty close to it, okay? The 17th, 19th, things coming together, that's fine. But just hold them off, whether it's a banker or insurance company or whoever the person is, until after the 21st. And if you can drag it out at least another week, because Mercury's still going to be moving through its shadow and won't be out actually before we get into August. But you can be pretty safe there from, I'd say, July 27th. So that's like the great big things coming in. And then where the golden triangle is meeting right there, guess who's coming in right behind it? Mars. Okay, that's on the 20th. And this is where I'm seeing you're dying to kick into action, okay, and put that pen to paper to secure something. But this aspect is going to linger for a few days, okay? So you know, trust me here. I'm looking out for you, as always. Put it into the 27th. But regardless, this Mars is then trining Neptune and Saturn. And Mars is our energy. It's our goal, our ambition, our desires. You know, and it's like trying to hold a racehorse back when it's right there at the gate. You know, it wants to take off. This is you here on the 20th, because your dream is so beautifully coming together that it could be a little bit a feeling of it being too good to be real, but this is real for you this month. So these aspects ties into your 4th house of home, property, real estate, 8th house of other people's money, banks, insurance company, mortgages, commissions, and royalties, and then the dream, which you're dreaming up there with Neptune in the 12th house. So yeah, I just want to say congratulations, for this will only happen once every 12 years that Jupiter is exactly in this position. And in 12 years from now, it won't be having the company of Saturn and Neptune either. So this is very special. This is rare. This is why we celebrate. On the 22nd, that Venus that you have in the 5th house now for your children, hobbies, fun, leisure, you know, bringing this little inner sunchild out to play. It's going to be very important here in June. Make the most of it. I see you being very happy-go-lucky. It will move into an area that's going to create more busyness for you, more routine and structure, and I see you organizing things, maybe packing things up as we move in on the 22nd of July, and it's going to be there throughout of August. So yeah, fun time is all until then. We also have the Sun moving into this 5th house, and it will be there from the 2nd of June. So I believe you're going to have a great time here this summer. And we have, let me see, the new moon. Let's talk a little bit about that. The new moon for you this month is going to be in the very same sector. So it sounds like I'm repeating myself, and I won't be going on and on. But the intentions here, for those of you who are not ready to purchase or buy or move, for those of you thinking of it but knowing it's still, you know, months ahead or maybe up to a year ahead, this is the time to put in the intention for it. We only get this placement, this sector, once a year to actually plant those seeds. So for those of you who are still in the dream state, not the manifestation state, you can put down your intentions too, and you'll see when Jupiter comes around closer to your Sun, then things will be happening for you. Then we have Neptune, we got Pluto, both of them going retrograde throughout the month, so they're doing their things. Always when planets go retrograde, they give us a little time to go back over, you know, those things that we initiated in the past, just to kind of check and double check whether those decisions that we made were good and right and still being kosher with us, or if we need to readjust. So all retrograde planets give us that time before it starts moving ahead again, and then things will be more settled and locked in. We have Uranus joining that crowd from July 17th, turning retrograde, and will remain so for many months to come. For you, that will be in the 12th house. So you might see that you will be undergoing a little bit more subconscious changes, you know, where your spirituality perhaps will be coming more in a dreamtime state, where you become more intuitive, where things can kind of just flash up to consciousness. So pay attention to those visions you get and those spiritual downloads that will come all at once and give you that light bulb that goes off. So, and it's going to take a little rest, and I think that could be good because you have so much else on your plate this month. Very intense focus. And we'll end it off with your full moon here on July 22nd. For you, it's going to be falling into your 10th house of career and also honors too. So whatever that will be for you this month, but pay attention to that date. Always like to look at full moons as moons of harvest, things you've been working for. It's also harvesting not just the intentions from the new moon here of June, but it's also harvesting from what you had as intentions earlier on. This is why we can reap every full moon something of our prior intentions. So I would say thank you for listening this month, Aries, and do listen to your moon sign and rising sign. And yes, as I will explain to those of you who don't know, this is your sun sign you're listening to right now, but your moon sign and rising sign, they're other parts of your cosmic dynamics, and they will pertain to you just as much as your solar sign. This is why you'd like to listen to them. So thank you for now, and see you again soon.